Hello out there, this is the AnYPony and welcome to my top 5 yay and nay list for the Ticketmaster. We are still at the very beginning of the series, directly after the pilot episodes. Lauren Faust has still assumed direct control and potential new bronies are still waiting to be hooked. Can this episode deliver? Let's find out together. Number 5. Neigh! What is up with Spike's behavior in this one? All this good stuff on the one hoof and him actually really wanting to go to the gala on the other hoof. Don't worry, I get it. Young insecure male who has to react hostile against feminine themes because stereotypes. But it is wrong on so many levels. First, this show is so good because it does break with stereotypes instead of enforcing them. Well, at least on the female end, but I already talked about that in my 6th Ask video. Second, this kind of behavior does not make sense within Equestria. Spike, have you taken a look around? You live in a matriarchal society with pink hearts, flowers and cute bunnies all around you. The social background for such a mindset to develop is simply not given there. Third, the irony. Because this very it's so girly attitude is what makes being a male brony so tricky in real life. But we are only at the beginning of the list and this aspect is rather minor, especially since the theme does not really come up again later on and it was primarily played for laughs anyway. What brings me to number 5. Yay! The humor. Why is it so far down on the list? Well, this show has such a great humor in general that I could put it on my list for every second episode. But that would become stale pretty quickly. So if it makes its way in here at all, it will probably end up rather low most of the time. But I wanted to address it this time because it is extraordinary, subtle and character driven in the Ticketmaster. Especially Rainbow Dash has a few extremely funny lines in this one.
Were you following me? No, yes, maybe. Look, it doesn't matter.
Number 4.
Neigh!
Okay, why has Twilight, Celestia's personal student and prodigy, never been to the gala before? Nothing really dramatic, but it just makes me wonder. She has not really been the social type before, but look at that reaction.
The Grand Galloping Gala!
Yeah, I know, this is really just another nitpick. But, well, look at it like this. If I have to choose nitpicks all the time to get 5 nays together, it must have been a good episode, doesn't it? An episode that features number 4.
Yay!
The Benny Hill style chase scene. Well, even if those kinds of scenes are something you normally do not enjoy, you have to admit, this one is done pretty nicely with an unbelievable amount of details to discover. Just look at Carrot Top, who has the time of her life rolling through the dirt while chasing Twilight. Number 3.
Neigh!
Well, we get from nitpicking into actual complaint territory. Pacing. Like in the pilot episodes, we get a kind of stage-by-stage narration. Twilight meets one of her friend after another, everyone gets a short daydream sequence, and then in level 2 every one of the remaining 5 also gets their own favor shenanigans stage. Seems to be a Faustian thing. Well, this is not really fatal for neither the story nor the quality of the episode as a whole, but there are better and smoother ways to tell such a story. Another pacing related bone I have to pick with this episode is the progression of time within the episode. A very demonstrative scene is Twilight at the restaurant. Haute Cuisine brings Twilight and Spike their dishes in bright daylight and literally 5 seconds later, before Twilight was able to take a single bite, he is like, "Madam, are you going to eat your food out in the rain?" Don't get me wrong, the setup is used brilliantly for a couple of hilarious jokes, but the unrealistic nature of that setup feels off to me. Usually MLP only uses this kind of unrealism for jokes and in the context of songs, but not within the actual plot like it happened throughout the Ticketmaster. As I said, nothing big. It just gives my suspension of disbelief a hard time. Something that actually is big in that episode and that is done very nicely is number 3.
Yay!
The interaction between the main 6. In the opening 2-parter, most interactions were limited to Twilight and her friends, but there were barely any interactions among the others. Except maybe AJ keeping Dashi grounded every now and then. Now we get nice little treats like hoof wrestling, or Rarity's reaction to Fluttershy expressing her interest in the gala. What reminds me. Number 2. Rarity and Fluttershy do not really get the best presentation in this episode. Let's talk about Fluttershy first. And I'm not referring to her manipulation attempts when she does the spring cleaning in the library. I believe by now most people will admit that she is a master manipulator. No, it was actually only one scene when she has this angry look and presses Twilight with all the others. This is not Fluttershy! But this is actually harmless compared to Rarity's presentation. After seeing this episode again in quite a while, I can see why so many bronies, including passionate Rarity praisers like Brony Curious, didn't like her at first. While every pony in this episode is selfish and greedy, except maybe Applejack, but I'll get to this, Rarity is the worst. She talks down on the reasons the others have for wanting to go to the gala, even though her own desires to go to the gala are just greedy and self-aggrandizing. And it is the girl's cartoon cliché par excellence, driving herself a prince home. So much for generosity. No wonder the poor girl had to work so hard to eventually get love from the fandom. She had a horrible start. But despite Rarity coming off badly, overall this episode gave us a lot of number 2.
Yay!
Characterization. Again, the viewer has only seen the pilot episode so far, assuming the hypothetical viewer is like me and watches the series strictly in order. And as I pointed out during my review of said episodes, this focus was on exposition and creating the setup for all the future stories to come. With exception of Twilight, we have got only very basic characterization for the main cast, and a lot of it was focused on their respective elements of harmony. Now, thanks to the aforementioned interactions and daydream sequences, as well as the more slice of life character of this episode, we finally get to know our entire main cast, what makes it a really good follow-up to the pilot to further introduce us to the world of MLP. But as good as an episode is, there is always something that bugs you the most. In my case it is number 1, the premise itself. I like what is done with it throughout the episode, but it kept on bugging me all the time. Why only 2 tickets? Kind of raises the question if Celestia really is just one big troll. I mean, she knows Twilight has 5 PFFs. But Celestia aside, okay, only 2 tickets. Now what is a reasonable solution? Sending the tickets back, because if not every pony can go, no one should be allowed to. What? No! Horse feathers! Twilight already had the right solution 5 minutes into the episode.
Whoever has the best reason to go should get the ticket, don't you think?
Yes, this is the right idea, and the one with the best reason is without question Applejack. While each of the others just wants to go to the gala for selfish reasons, Applejack wants to help her family. Take that element of generosity. Snap! I just established Rarity just got a bad start. Be nice, ANY. Back to topic. Twilight even considers giving both tickets to 2 of her friends to make 2 of them happy. But the thought of still making 3 unhappy bothers her so much she decides to make all 5 unhappy by sending both tickets back. I really get what message this episode is trying to convey. Not picking one of your friends over the others, but it does not really work with the given premise. Not to mention that you are usually not getting rewarded with more gifts after returning previous ones. But well, this episode has one more ace up its sleeve, and people who have been following me for a while now might be able to guess what I have in mind. Number 1. And not only episode, but season-spanning story arc. Well, okay, in the end it only really comes up in 3 episodes. The current one, Suited for Success, and The Best Night Ever. But by establishing that arc in one of the first episodes, and not just in a 2-second sneak peek, Megan, and concluding it in the very last with a reminder of it in the middle of the season, it kind of creates at least a nice framework. Something I really wish to see more in MLP. Like, for example, Dexter and Doctor Who do it all the time. And to counter the damn kid show argument in advance, let me just say, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Well, I hope you enjoyed that list, because you are going to get a bunch more of those. Because every pony can make analysis and reviews, but only I can do lists. This is ANYPony saying see you soon.
On this journey